today I am with yet another new story, and that's from grade 9 Beehive textbook. And as you can see, it's The Little Girl, written by Katherine Mansfield. Katherine Mansfield, she was known as a New Zealand modern writer, and later on she even moved to England. And it's also said she was a very good friend of D.H. Lawrence. So you can see, as she's into modern writing, you can see she is being discussing in this story about little problems, what is happening within the teenage. So you can take this as a little girl. Maybe little girl can be age of a teenage or very small age, whatever it is, but she's bringing in reality to the story. Maybe while you're reading it, you might have also feel that something similar is happening to my own life in my own house. And that's what Katherine Mansfield wanted from all the students who are reading it. We should be able to compare it with your own life, and that's where you can find the reality in the stories. So before moving into the story, let's look into who are the characters of the story. As you can see over here, the major character, the protagonist of the story is Kezia. And as you can see, the title of the story is The Little Girl, and this little girl is Kezia. So the whole story evolves around the girl called Kezia, and about the bitter experience she has in her house, and how was she able to overcome it, what were the things she was able to overcome it, how was she able to be a very good girl, and how was she able to be to manage the stress and things at home. All these things have been revolved in this story. The next character obviously is father. See, as you can see over here, the name of the father is not mentioned over here. The next is mother, grandmother, which is the father's mother. You can see throughout the story the father calling out mother, mother. Mother, can you do that for me? Mother, can you do that for me? So in that case, over the mother over there in the story is grandmother. And as you can also see, Alice the cook. Okay, so these are the few characters you can see in the story. You cannot find literal conversations happening between each and every character, but then these are the characters, and among that, Kezia father plays the prominent roles in the characters. We'll look into this part later on, so we'll directly move in the story. First, let us literally summarize the story in short so you will understand. So as I told you, when the story begins, you can see the character called Kezia. Okay, and one thing what we understood is Kezia, the beginning of the story, we says father does a particular thing every morning. So what does the father do? Every morning father comes to Kezia to the bed, give her a kiss on the forehead, and the father leaves to the job. So maybe father using some kind of carriage, some vehicle, but what vehicle, which is not clearly mentioned in the story. So father takes up that carriage and produces such a huge sound for that particular carriage, and father moves. And when the father moves from the house, listening to the carriage, Kezia understands, okay, my father is not there. That is basically one thing makes her happy when the father is not at home. And we also came to the schedule of the father. Father returns back to home evening, and the minute the father reaches home, father is asking for a lot of things. Bring me the newspaper, remove my boots. Instructions are be given to his wife as well as his mother. Okay, which means his wife means Kezia's mother and to Kezia's grandmother. And at times when the mother gives instruction to Kezia, telling that mother, Kezia, why don't you remove father's boots? So things like that. And the minute the father asked Kezia, how was the day? And the Kezia said, I don't know. So every time when he say, the Kezia is trying to say, I don't know. She was not sure how was the day. And she was continuously stuttering. And in the story itself, it's very clearly said that Kezia did not have stuttering or stammering issues, but she used to stutter only in front of her father. Now, what is the reason behind it? She was very scared of her father. Now, you have to look into the prominent role grandmother plays over here. Grandmother tries to create a bridge between Kezia and her parents. Kezia was very close to her grandmother, but Kezia was not close to her father or mother. So once grandmother said, see, when you are free during Sundays, go to the hall and try speaking with your parents. So now Kezia went to the hall, and she saw that in the drawing room, Kezia found that as usual mother was reading some magazine and father was sleeping, literally snoring. And father always used a handkerchief to cover his face, and father was sleeping. So this was scenario, and every time maybe when the father woke up after Sunday noon, short nap, father used to see Kezia sitting over there, and father used to say, why are you staring at me? And you look like a brown owl. So see the way the comparison is being brought in over there. Brown owl. And that's what Kezia's father used to call Kezia. So because of all these things, Kezia was totally, zipped. And Kezia never used to talk with her father. But grandmother was trying on new things so that Kezia would start talking to the father. Now what happened was, one day the grandmother realized it was Kezia's father's birthday. So grandmother said, Kezia, we'll do one thing. We'll make a cushion. And father loved cushions. Basically, father wants to keep the leg on the cushion, or he wanted to rest his head under the cushion. So he loved cushions. Why don't we create a cushion? And with the help of grandmother, she was creating a cushion. So all of you know what's a cushion. What did she do? She stitched up all the three sides of a cushion. All the three sides of the cushions were pinned, and she left like one side she opened. She thought she would fill in something, but then she was looking for the things what are the things she could fill in. So she stitched the three sides, she left it over there, and she was searching for all the things where she could fill in the cushion. She searched the whole room, she couldn't find. Whatever she found, she filled it in. At last she went to her mother's room, her father's and mother's room. So when she went there, she saw some fine papers over there. What did she do? She said, okay, maybe that's not needed. She took the papers, she tore into small bits of pieces, she filled in the cushion, and she stitched the fourth side. That night in the house, was a huge hue and cry. Hue means basically anger and cry in the house. The father's speech for Port Authority was lost. Everyone were searching, the maids were questioned, things were going on. At last, mother was searching for everywhere. At last, mother reached Kezia's room. And mother asked Kezia, see, I know you have not come there. Did you see father's speech of Port Authority? Did you come to my room? Did you see something on the table? Kezia confessed. Kezia said, yeah, I saw the paper. I tore into fine pieces to put it into my cushion. Mother understood, now it's gone. So mother took her to the father. She was trying to plead and try to make her father understand, because she was just trying to make a cushion. But then father couldn't understand anything. Father took the scale, and on a beautiful pink hand, the father hit her hard. She started crying so loudly. She went directly to her grandmother, and she was trying to console. The grandmother was trying to console the little girl. There's one particular dialogue Kezia says over there. And that particular dialogue was basically, why did God create God? Why did God create fathers for? She was such sad. She was so sad. She didn't know what to say. She was so sad. She tried to explain to her father it was for his birthday. But then father didn't understand. Father didn't even listen to the girl. She was very sad about it. After a few days or the very next day, she was just walking around in the house. She could hear some scream and noises. So through the fence she was looking. She saw in the very next door McDonald's. McDonald's basically a family which is staying next to their house. They are neighbors. So she saw Mr. McDonald's, playing with his 5 kids together in the garden. She was so sad. She was trying to compare her father with Mr. McDonald's. Mr. McDonald's was enjoying with the kids, but here the father always has got a terrifying look, and father always maybe make fun of her, things like that. She couldn't understand that. At that point in time, she told something to the grandmother. They are different sorts of fathers. She realized there are different kinds of fathers. There are fathers who can understand, who can be with the children and enjoy with the children, and there are few other parents or few other fathers who are very strict like hers. So if you remember, if you have read the story, you've seen in the beginning, the Kezia used to completely compare his father to the giant, huge body, huge legs, all those kind of huge giant was the right word she compares to his father. One day, one thing happened. Her mother, Kezia's mother, was sick. So grandmother had to go with the mother to the hospital. So they had to be in the hospital for a few days. So in the house, we had Kezia, father, and Alice the cook. So Alice the cook was taking care of Kezia during the daytime when father was at work. And obviously Alice would put Kezia into sleep, and Alice would go back home. So that day, Kezia couldn't take it up. Kezia said, see, I will see why, few weird dreams, so it's better you please be with me. Always my grandmother used to be with me, things like that. So Alice said, don't worry, you just stay calm and please don't shout because your father's in the next room. And Alice, the cook, left. So Alice doesn't have much of conversation. The only thing what Alice said was, just be quiet and sleep and don't scream because your father's in the next door. Please don't disturb him. That's the only thing what Alice said. That night, as usual, Casey had a dream, and the dream was a butcher coming with a knife. And with a knife, and he had a smile. And seeing the dream again, it was quite a recurring dream for Kezia. Kezia shouted and screamed. And all of a sudden, she could see someone over there because she was a person who was so scared of darkness. She could see someone over there. She thought, she understood, she realized it was her father. The father carried her. And the father said, don't worry, I am there with you. And the father took the little girl to his room. The father made her comfortable by pinning in the cushion, pinning in the blanket and things like that, and told her, don't worry, I am there with you. At that point of time, Kezia begins to realize how much her father loves. And then after some time, you can also see when the story unfolds, when the story ends, Kezia sleeps. She lays her head on her father's heart, and then she says a dialogue. You have a very big heart, father. Yes, very big heart means not physically as she used to say giant, but then a person who can understand another person. A person who can love. Nobody can love others just like that. So you've got a very big heart, father. That realization comes in over there for Kezia. Most of our fathers are exactly like that, like Kezia's father. They doesn't know how to express their love towards their children. It can be your mother or your father, let it be anyone. But at times, maybe now you're not able to understand your love of your father, or love of your mother. You have a very big heart. Over there, Kezia's realization comes in, where she understands that the father is able to understand her at a point of time. When the father realizes grandmother is not there, he comes into that position and he comforts Kezia. So that realization of Kezia is being brought in the last line. And as you can see, after going through the summary of the story, as you can understand, the theme of the story is the relationship between the parents and the children. There should be a proper relationship between parents and the children. When we have a problem, yes, we have to inform it to our parents. We have to make them understand you have so and so problems. Obviously, they have more experience. They can obviously solve all the issues what we are into. Okay, so as the story unfolds of little girl, yes, the title is quite appropriate because the whole story revolves around little girl named Kezia. This is all about the story, the little girl. I hope you've understood. If you have any doubts, please post in the comment box. And if you really like the video, please like. And why you just watch and just move on? Why don't you subscribe it and share it to your friends? The knowledge what you have, let it be shared, let it be understood by everyone. Thank you. During this time of Corona, I want everybody to stay safe. If you need any particular chapter to be told to you, please let me know. It'll be there with you. Okay, so stay safe. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. This is your Nimmy signing off. Bye.